All right, set up. I think we're pretty good. Not too bad. Not too bad. Wednesday at 2. Let's see how many people are going to show up to a Wednesday at 2 live. That's a heat advisory was just issued. We've had a couple good days of weather. Yesterday was, I think yesterday and the day before were beautiful. Today, still beautiful. A little bit warm, but hey, can't complain. Flowers are coming out. I got some cone flowers over there, and of course I still got my my weeds I got to take care of. Sunflowers are coming up. Garden's looking pretty good. Haven't had any deer jump in there yet, so that's good. Let's see what else. It's looking pretty good around here. Just got a lot of stuff to get done. Watching that trial. Well, not the trial, but watching the families. That Koberger or Com, I don't even care to pronounce his name correctly. Um, just really crazy. Hey, Randy. Pac Northwest, how are you doing? Enjoying life today from sunny Colorado Springs on vacation. Oh, Colorado Springs on vacation. Cool. What are you going to do there? Like, what's the just sightseeing, or do you do the Colorado Springs? Probably just some sightseeing. There's no snowing. There's no snow up there yet, I don't think, right? But that's probably a nice place to go. Hey, Smart Scope Astro. You're in your basement. It's so cold you have to have a jacket on. Why is that? Well, I guess basements can be like 60 something degrees, right? If there's no heat, right? Bill's day off. Still at work here in Reno, Nevada. Well, that's okay. That's all right. Just don't get caught. I don't know what you're doing, Bill's day off, but don't get caught. Don't get caught listening to Buzz. I've got 3 grandkids here and 2 kids, so we're visiting. Okay, visiting family. That's cool. Yeah, I've never been to Colorado, but just from the videos I've seen and things like that, beautiful, beautiful state. Black Dragon, greetings from Chico in Northern California. Hey, thank you. I appreciate you being here. I do appreciate you being here. Yes, and my poor daughter's on the boat doing fish counts for the grad program, so she's on the Wabash River. Well, that's cool. I'm glad that's actually kind of a fun thing, and hopefully they're not using dynamite to get them out. They're probably using some kind of shocking technique or something. Bill's day off. I've only got 100K. So you're going to keep working. Oh, the Asian carp. Yeah. You know what? That was a pretty big deal. Still is, I think. You just haven't heard much about it. But yeah, that's not good. Yeah, you haven't heard much about it since I think it was up in your area. They were going to put some kind of dam or something, or I don't remember what they were going to do, but I haven't heard much about that lately. They're using shockers. Okay. Hey, Rich, how are you, Rich? D Hip, love your authenticity. It's the only thing I've got. I don't have money, so I have authenticity. Yeah, I call it like I see it. Always have. Just sometimes that rubs people the wrong way, but that's why we stay away from politics. The Fates Lieutenant, Wednesday already. I know, time just, boy, does it go fast. Really does. And, you get caught up in doing this and that, and the next thing you know, the day's over. Like I just said yesterday to Mrs. Buzz, I said, man, I got some things, like Monday especially. Monday, I did the dog walking, and then I stopped at like 4 or 5 different places, and, and I didn't get home till like, I don't know, it was 2:30, and then I laid down for a minute. Hey, Bill's day off. If you only got 100,000, don't be giving me anything. And I took a little nap, and by then it was almost dinner time, and I'm like, where did this day go? That was Monday. So yesterday I really didn't accomplish too much. I got some things done, but tied up the tomato plants, and and that's what's great in retirement. We just pace ourselves how we want to do it. Uh Tim, how are you, Tim? That's good, Rich. I'm glad you're doing good. MJL3093, how are you today? You got it this and time. You why me? That's right. Bill's day off again. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Can I do something with that? I think I can heart that or something. What can I do to that? There we go. There we go. I can't. How come it won't let me click this? I don't know. I'm still new to this. I've only been doing it for a year or something, and I'm still new to it. When you get a chance, traveling around out west is a lot of fun and beautiful country. Yeah, Mrs. Buzz did that, when she was growing up. Um, I don't know if I'll ever get out there, but like I said, a couple times, I'd like to see the Grand Canyon once, just to see it. And I heard that was on fire. Red Drum 187. Yeah, I heard the Grand Canyon. I was walking past the TV, and there was something about, and it looked like a canyon, and I'm like, what is that? Mrs. Buzz asked Grand Canyon. I said, Grand Canyon's on fire? Oh, that's great. Hey, Dave from across the lake. How you doing? Buy yourself a cup of coffee. You're going to be okay. All right, Bill's day off. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. We're doing donations. As Maddie Ross, True Grit says, time just gets away from us. Yeah, that is so true. Clayton Bigsby, do you ever go on vacation? No, we don't. We we stay here. We're actually glued. We all have ankle monitors, and we can't leave the premises. We have retirement ankle monitors. No, we matter of fact, we're going out tomorrow to a band thing, and then we're probably going to hit the zoo. And I still want to make that trip to Michigan. We're planning on that. But the last couple of weeks has been really warm, so we didn't want to be walking around outside and doing stuff like the zoo. Who wants to walk around 2-3 miles at the zoo when it's 90 degrees? So yeah, there's some things that we'll do, especially when the kids go back to school. Things will be less crowded and we're gonna and cooler. So we're gonna focus probably around that time to do some things. The FTM dropping it for a few minutes, meeting with a friend via Zoom in 20 minutes. Well, I appreciate you being here, taking some time to stop in and say hi. We appreciate that. Oh, Radio Dude, how are you doing? Your mustache is back. How much to get you to grow out your hair to your shoulders like Hulk Hogan? I don't think my hair could grow. I don't think it could grow like that anymore. I tried that Rogaine stuff once on the top of my head. I still got a little bit of hair, but not that much. Very little. And I tried I think Sam's Club, it was a Rogaine, not a prescription Rogaine, but a knockoff, whatever you call that. And I tried that for like a month. This was 5, 6, 10 years ago, maybe. It never worked. I took a helicopter through the Grand Canyon. It was fun. Yeah, that would be kind of cool. Hey, Joe, how are you? Yeah, it's afternoon already, believe it or not. That was the North Rim burned to the ground. Oh, really? The North Rim, huh? Yeah, like I said, I caught a peek of it. When I lived in Phoenix, we went to the zoo middle of summer. None of the animals. Yeah, I think we either get a senior discount or we get in free. And so we'll pick a Monday that is cool. And like I said, maybe when the kids go back, because you know how those kids are. I was one of them, believe it or not, a long time ago. They'll go banging on the windows and then glass and all that, and the animals just don't care for that. So I like it when it's a little bit less crowded. And now, in retirement, you can pick and choose when you want to go do something, where before you had to fit into a schedule and I got to get you got to do this, now we don't have to. So it's great. Greetings from Virginia, Rick's retirement journey. How are you? Kristen. Yeah, that's my Hotel Alcatraz. I think I bought this when I went to San Francisco. Guaranteed room with a view, 24-hour security, lifetime accommodations, catering to select clientele, bars in every room. All drinks are on the rocks. I couldn't pass that up. that was something that I could easily put into a suitcase to fly home. So, and that was a long time ago that I went. And did a few years, pretty amazing. I got stuck in the middle seat in the back. Oh, for the helicopter ride. Gracie, how are you? Yeah, I was able to, when we went to San Francisco, it was a business thing. We actually went to Sacramento and we drove down. We were in Sacramento and then we had to go to Stockton. Nice town, Stockton. And then we just took a day trip to San Francisco, or a couple hours actually, and ate at one of the Pier 47 or something. I don't know what the heck it was. And I saw one bum. That was it. So back then there was one bum. There was one guy, homeless guy. Bum, I call him bum from the 70s, I guess. One homeless guy. So I don't know what it looks like now, but I hear it doesn't look good, but I don't know. When I was there, like I said, unless I was in a different area. How's the bathroom? Ha ha, it's going. It's going. Thanks for the video about time. It's definitely thought. Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Hi from Minnesota. It's nice to go to places when it's not so busy midweek for sure. Chris. Yeah, Chris, you're right. We might head up to Cedar Point. Now, the problem with Cedar Point, and that's one of the premier roller coaster places in the United States. We've been there so many times, but I'm to the point now where it's hard for me to ride certain things because I get dizzy quickly. That's why I won't take a cruise, because I get that seasick. And I think it's getting worse as I age. So, but that's always a good time. But we might do that in the fall too. They have the Halloween thing going on. And so we might do something in the fall with that. Yeah, thank you, Smart Scope. Homestead Engineering, how are you doing? Alcatraz in the summer with all the bugs. Must have been horrible to stay there. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, Stockton. I'll tell you about Stockton. The 2-second snip I had about that was I was with this one lady and this other guy, and we pulled into this. I was like a 7-Eleven or a convenience store, and we were getting gas, and there was some people around. So there's this real big guy in the store, and the guy who was behind the counter, he didn't speak English very well. And the big guy said, "There's 2 apple pies, 2 for $1." And the sign clearly said, I'm watching from another area, and the sign says 2 for $1. So he got 2 of them, and he was trying to charge them $1 each. And the guy said, no, it's 2 for $1. And then the guy behind the counter just kept saying, no, it's $1 each. And the guy's, now the guy's getting mad, and I don't blame him. It's like, look, your sign says, and the guy still didn't care. He was like, no, it's $1. It's like, what game is going on here? And I'm thinking, okay, here come the guns. Here we go. And he just basically says, come here and look. And then the guy came from around the counter and he looked at it. He goes, oh, okay. So I thought, man, this was going to be a shootout. And I'm glad it wasn't. But that was, yeah. And then the pool, we were at the Holiday Inn in Stockton. The pool closed at 10 p.m. Everything closed up at 10 p.m. over there. And I don't know if it was a Sunday or what, and I thought, well, because we were going to head down to the pool and it's already closed. So, okay, I guess 10 o'clock we go to sleep. Talking about, now they're playing a game with the Alcatraz thing. Heading up to UP of Michigan all next week to get away from the crate. Oh, cool. Okay. What are you going to do up in Michigan? Sign in a bar in Nebraska. Our town is too small to have a town drunk, so we all take turns. That's a good one. I like that. Is that place with the new? Yes, yeah, Chris. That's Cedar Point. I'm so glad we live so close because we took the girls there so many times, and I'm glad that we didn't get to go to Kings Island in Cincinnati. We thought about that, and then we had Geauga Lake and SeaWorld, which was not too far. And then, of course, that closed. And that's kind of a sore subject because that was a nice, Geauga Lake and SeaWorld, like right next to each other. And just talk about a good time. And then, it closed up. And actually, Cedar Fair, who owned Cedar Point, bought them out and basically just ran it down and closed them. which was sad. Did you ever make it out to Kelly's Island? I've been to South Bass Island many times. Not Kelly's Island specifically, but South Bass. I've been there a few times with Perry's Monument there. Shoot out over pies. I know. Well, it didn't happen, but you know, the area is not that great of an area, I guess. And yeah, when everything closes down and just it's and that was years and years and years ago. And maybe it's gotten better. I don't know. I don't think so, but Stockton, a place to pass through. Yeah, I probably now it's not even a good place to pass through. I don't know. But that's where the company was, believe it or not. It was called Dana, and it was a big manufacturing place out there. And there was a bunch of in the area that they had this plant was a bunch of fields and stuff. So, I mean, it was just all manufacturing out there. But when you got into a area like I was in, and I don't think it was the main area in Stockton, it was probably on the outskirts. So probably bordered another town. I don't know for sure. California gets around by billions, not millions. UP heading to Porcupine Mountain, arguably the most scenic spot. Porcupine Mountain. I've never heard of that. I'll have to check that out. So I guess the Guardians aren't changing their name back. Do any call them Guardians? No. I'll just tell you without getting into anything. The caricature of the red-faced Indian and the one back in the 30s or 20s, they can go. I don't have a problem with that. But keeping the name Indians, I don't have a problem with that. And I don't know. I kind of wish they would go back. But they've made their choice. They've done what they've done. And so be it. Well, it's the same with, we call the field Jacobs Field because it was named Jacobs Field, and now it's Progressive or it's something. Nobody cares anymore. They just always call it Jacobs Field. So because it just comes off the tongue a lot easier than Progressive Field or some BS like that. So whatever it is, I don't even keep up on all the naming rights anymore. They seem to change every few years. I don't know how long their contracts go, but Jacobs Field, it's always the Jake to us. So blessed to live in the Buckeye State. Yeah, so much to do. 8 Mile Road, Stockton, only semi-safe place to stop. Yeah, again, I don't remember all the details. I just know I got to stand in the Pacific Ocean. I actually, I did have shorts on. We didn't have business attire, but I did have shorts on, and not swimming apparel or anything, but there's that big boat. There's a Mississauga boat. What is that ship? It's a wooden ship or something that's docked there, or was. Then right there, I kind of went off to the side. It's not even a beach area, but I walked into the Pacific just to get a picture of me standing knee deep in the Pacific, just to say I was there, So I've done the Atlantic, I've done the Pacific. So off my bucket list. Looks like a storm rolling through eastern Minnesota. It seems like, summertime storms are everywhere. Hey, Dan, how are you? Yeah, those dogs are fun. And that's what I was going to bring up was on the Berea ARF. Now, I've asked you guys, on the Buy Me a Coffee, I've said, if you want, I'll take 75 or 25% of that. But then I said I'm going to donate everything. And we got $275 in donations. So I moved that over to, in the Berea ARF, ARF, Animal Friends Rescue, Berea ARF shelter. If you Google that, you'll see there's under donations, there's a pause for, what's it called? Pause for something. I forget the name of it now. They just started the program, and they do it every August. And I didn't know that, but I put that money into, there's a Buzz's Retirement Garage where you can go right to my account there, donation account. Like you'll see a bunch of them. There's like 15 of them there right now. But I put the original 200 some dollars into that account. So we're looking pretty good. So if anybody wants to go to the Berea ARP Animal Shelter, just Google that. Look under donate, pause, pause for something. I can't believe I forgot that. And we'll talk about it again Saturday. I may even do a video about it. I'm not sure, but you can donate there. That it's a great shelter. I love uh, they do such a good job. And I was kind of hesitant when I first started, like, how is this going to go? But it's so many dedicated people, and they said they have over 300 volunteers because they all take different shifts. My shift's a 2-hour shift, so you could think over 7 days you have a few, maybe 3, 4, 5 daily shifts, and each shift has 4, 5, 6 people at least. So it's a lot of people it takes to help these animals out. So, and I really like that. I mean, they're never in their cages or their kennels that long. Like I said, they do a really great job. Let me catch up because I'm talking again. Corn products. What's corn products? Hey, Bo Daddy 1964. Greetings from Florida, out and about with Boomer and Scout. Got a former colleague who lives in Ashtabula. Ohio is a beautiful state. Yeah, Ashtabula is nice. My wife's uncle lived out there in Ashtabula. They used to call it Uncle Ray's farm because Uncle Ray never took care of the farm. You could see it from Interstate 90, I believe. And supposedly you could see it. I think it's been torn down. It was an old farmhouse that he never took care of. Everybody, all the uncles, my wife's dad had to go out and help patch up the roof and keep the place from falling down. He wasn't handy, let's put it that way. Any reference to Indians is erased in modern society. Yeah, and that's too bad. The only thing is just if you ask people from the tribes, or if you ask them, and I think from last I heard, some were okay with getting rid of it, and others think that their heritage is disappearing. And I'm not going to take sides because I don't know all the deal. And I'm certainly not Native American, so I'm not going to say. Actually, there is. I think I do have. Somebody did a whatever that word is, on us, and I think there was. They say that we were a very small part Indian. Of course, probably some of us are, right? But my DNA, because I did a DNA thing, and it does not show that, so I'm not sure. But yeah, I don't have a dog in the fight on that one. Even the Land O'Lakes butter kept the image of the land, but lost the Indian woman. Yeah, and again, it's hard to, again, because I don't have a background in that type of history. I don't know. So when I don't know something, or I just don't comment. I just, my comment doesn't count, I should say, because who am I to, unless I have all the information, I don't like to go out on a limb on anything. Now, if I have all the information, or I think I do, then I'll go 100%. But short of that, I'm not going to get involved in it. But yeah, I just don't think that the history should be. Actually, I've got a shirt. I should have worn that, but maybe it's a little bit political. I don't know. But it's got a picture of 3 Indians with their musket, or they had muskets or some kind of guns, which of course they got from the white man, right? But it says the first Homeland Security or something like that. And I haven't worn it. I don't think I've worn it on any of our lives or videos because I don't know what. But I felt, yeah, they were the first Homeland Security, and too bad though. Cement ship. Had your live break in with the Culver's ad. Watched it all. Oh, thanks. Yeah, I keep the ads on Wednesday. Saturdays, I keep the ads off, and I just put them on during the replay. But on Wednesdays, I just leave the ads on. That helps give me a few bucks to Saturday's Amazon gift card. So, and usually like on these Wednesdays, I think I've looked, and I should look at last. Well, we didn't do one last Wednesday, I don't think, but I should look a couple back. I think I make like $4 to $5. I mean, it's not like I'm making a lot of money on a live. It's like $4 or $5. Now, thanks to that donation, it'll be $15. So only when you watch the major league movies. Yeah, that's right. Mid 80s for the rest of the week in Northern Virginia. Yeah, like I said, we got 80. You're saying we have a heat advisory now, but what's the difference? 85, 87, 90. It's all the same to me now. It's summertime. Yeah, you hear the Jets right on time. Isn't that weird how that happens? And now you won't hear one for probably the rest of the rest of the time. They wait for me. They really do. There must be something I'm broadcasting or I'm doing something, and they say, "Hey, buzz is on. We better go." Uh, they even removed the Redskins, which was an image of Blackfoot Indian, which was painted by a Blackfoot. Yeah, if I had to say, if you gave me a choice on Redskins, I would say no. Uh, Indians, yes. Braves, yes. Redskins, no. That would just be because could you imagine the white skins or the black skins or the Oriental skins or when you put it in that kind of context, I don't think it's a good idea. Now, if there's a tribe that really pushes for it or they really want it, then fine. I don't have a problem, but I just don't see that happening. I just don't see it. That's just my opinion, though. Culver's butter Swiss burger and strawberry milkshake. I've never been to a Culver's. Oh, 280 zone. You got that, huh? Well, I appreciate that. There's that link. Yeah, I appreciate that. Genealogy. Yeah, I just can't say. I can't say words. Genealogy. That's right. I'm heading to Chicago Cedar Point Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Cool, and 4 baseball games next week. Downtown Cleveland. Don't forget the Christmas Story House if you can go there. And right across there, if you're into the old time bars, Rowley Inn is right near the Christmas Story House. They've got some pretty good food. It's you're into the old time bars. It's small. I went there once. I haven't been in the back. There's Fat Cats. That's a pretty cool place. On Professor Street, there's another old time Polish type restaurant. Used to be. There's a lot of in Ohio City. In that area, it's like what we used to call yuppies. Back in the 80s. They are doing a great job in fixing everything up down there, and it's looking really nice. And there's some pretty cool restaurants down there now that serve some good food. But Cedar Point, that'll be nice. Rock and Roll Hall, yep. Don't forget the submarine, Mike. There's a submarine right next to the Rock Hall, just down the way. The USS Cod. If you want it now. If you're afraid to go down the little holes that they have because they didn't make it a walkway or they didn't make it friendly for big people or old people. So, but it's cool. It really is. My wife won't go down the ladder. So she stands outside while I go in. Me and my daughter went probably a decade ago, but I want to go down there again. No politics. Yeah, no, we're not. We're not into politics. I called Indian once. They said I was too tense. Couldn't sleep all night. Did you get your free wellness check under? No. No, I actually, Culver, I actually have one set up for September. Because I asked them when I went in there, because I have this what's called trigger thumb. So I went to the doctor for that. It's really bothers me, man. I'll wake up in the morning and it'll pop like this. And oh my gosh, it's not, it's like on the pain scale, a 1 or a 2, just for a minute, and then it's fine. once I, it's like, I guess like an arthritis type thing, but it actually snaps. I mean, I'm snapping it right now. You can't see it or hear it, but so I went to the doctor for that, and I said, hey, do I have to do this wellness thing? And he goes, yeah. He says, you're due for blood work and stuff anyway. So here, I'll just write you the papers. Come back in September, because I want to get my flu shot, or my flu shot around that time in September. So I think my appointment's scheduled for mid-September. So yeah, I'll get that done, and no big deal. Are you concerned about the genealogy companies selling your DNA? No, I don't care. If and I've told Mrs. Buzz this so many times. If somebody wants to listen in on me, or know where I'm at, or have my DNA or whatever, I am one of 300. What do we got? 350 million people in the U.S. I really don't care if they're trying to. The odds of them focusing on just me are slim to none. And even if that's slim, I could care less. I really don't. I don't care. My life is not that exciting that they would be worried about me. Now, somebody, who's out there and, sports people, or, stuff like that, I'd be a little bit worried about, but not a guy like me. Are the Guardians changing their name? No, they will not. How's your garden? Hey, the tomatoes are doing good. Now, my raised bed garden, I think I made a mistake because it's in the sun most of the day. And even though I water it every day, it's not growing. So I got to come up with plan B on that. I'm going to have to look at some. They're coming to take me away again. I told you we have this retirement home not too far from us. And every time I hear that ambulance, it's like, oh, go, there goes another one. Another vacancy. Room 20 is open now. I shouldn't laugh about that, but it's the truth. Yeah, time for the sirens. There you go. They're $20 away now. Donated my Buzz Hair Fund money. All right, thank you. I appreciate that. We've been in the 90s and the hundreds. Not safe. Oh no, yeah, you shouldn't walk your dog on the cement or any asphalt or anything like that. That's good looking out for that dog. That's really good. We're going to visit the Christmas Story house, but my wife hates that movie. I love her. Hey, if you want to do something different, Joe, write this down. Castle Noel in Medina, which is probably a half hour away from the Christmas Story house, 40 minutes, half hour, 40 minutes south. That is a good time too. That guy, he looks like Santa Claus, and I think his name's Mark, who's running it. They do a great job. They have all you have to just look it up on the computer. Castle Noel. Check it out. Hey, they just do it's totally different than the Christmas Story house, because I hear you about the Christmas Story house. If you go in there, the people aren't there. And, I think 90% of the charm is the people. And of course, they're not going to be there. And I don't care about the older ones and stuff like they're doing. I don't care about the old guy. I want to see them as they were, which is impossible. So when you go there, it's like, okay, cool. I see the house, and I've not been there, but that's why we don't go, is because I think to me, it would be a letdown. A one-time thing, yeah, and it will eventually get there, but something on my bucket list that I have to do, no. Even though I love the movie, I'm just not, it's not in the top 10 of my bucket list, that's for sure. Are you buying a leg lamp? They have the leg lamps across the street. They have a big gift shop there. They're drilling our new water well today here in California. We're going 800 feet, keeping fingers crossed for plenty of. Take 3 days to complete. Boy, that's got to cost with some money, Greg, huh? That's not cheap. Do your birds eat your? Oh yeah, Dan. I've got a berry tree. What is that? It's a volunteer tree. Mulberries. We actually have two of them. Two mulberry trees, and the birds just wipe them out within a week. They're wiped out, and it's amazing. I'll sit there. That's where my little right behind this garage. I have this little table in between the barns where I sit like on a little patio area. That's kind of my getaway place. Um, and just watching the birds, feeding the peanuts that I give them, and going after those mulberries. I mean, it's nice to kill a half hour that way. I called it. Yeah, you did call it perfectly on the sirens. Yep. And probably in another, let's see. They'll probably. So here's what'll happen now. If the siren leaves and we hear it, that person is not in good shape. If we don't hear the siren again, that's good, because that person just needed to be picked up or something. Who knows? I don't know. Or they're being transported and they're okay. So hopefully we won't hear that siren again. 800 feet. Yeah. I don't know much about wells. I thought about one time. We have city water, but if I had well water or whatever, I would probably want to do something different. Matter of fact, I think I just heard the ambulance go by. It sounded like their vehicle, and no siren, so that's good. Oh, thank you, 280 Zone. I appreciate that. You got all the work now, 280 Zone, since Noreen's working now. Noreen got a job. This would be her third day, right? I think it's her third day. Yeah. We are in Michigan, and the deer are all over in the fields. Do you have many in Cleveland? Oh, absolutely. I was just, check this out. I'm sitting at my table here. No, I was actually in the garden, which is parallel. And this deer just walks and goes to the bird feeder. And I'm like, hey, you don't see me here? Deer, you don't see me here? Didn't care. No antlers. It seemed like a young one. Just walks over, starts eating out of the bird feeder. No, not a care in the world. And so I just kept on doing my stuff, and he ate he turned around and walked away. So, yeah, I got at least one. I haven't been to Ohio. I hear, oh, Amish shops. Yeah, Chris, I love the Amish country. We used to go there every fall, and it is nice. And actually have a Christmas store out there too. It's expensive, but we stop in there just to look around. But yes, it's pretty cool out there, and the good restaurants, Der Dutchman, and that's Holmes County that we go to. So yes, restaurants. There's a Swiss chalet type area. I think we've eaten over there too over the years, but that was always a fun trip. Taking a buggy ride and visiting an Amish house and all that stuff. For the kids, it was really cool, and for me too. But the kids got to see a different side of life that they never saw before. They see the Amish out working in the fields and stuff, and and we had our discussions about how people live. How there's good and bad, and not bad, but I mean poor people, middle class, rich people, and you want them to be kids to be exposed to everything safely, but you want them to be exposed just to see, this middle class life that we live is not everybody gets that opportunity to live that middle class life. Now the Amish is different. They want it that way, and they're very successful in the way they do it, but it's a different culture, and to show them that is kind of cool. First time was good for me to be at the Christmas house. I live in Medina County still. Yeah, love son. You got to go. I know, it's crazy, right? That you haven't been there and you live in Medina. It's like 10 minutes away from you. But yeah, you should go there. It's pretty cool, and get there before Christmas or the holidays, because man, it gets packed. Now they start doing on the website. They start doing times. I think if I remember correctly. So you have to pick a time like 6 o'clock, and that makes sense. So they can stagger things out. We just planted 3 trees, spent extra money to have them delivered, and plant a ginkgo, serviceberry, and a bigger autumn. The autumn blaze maple would be nice. Yeah, you should have them deliver them and plant them, because they know what they're doing. Me, I'll dig a hole and it's never big enough. I had one tree in the front, And I don't know. I pick out these dumb trees, and Mrs. Buzz just tolerates me. I don't know, but I just picked out another one I got from Home Depot last year, last fall. It was half price. I don't even forget what it was. But the first tree I planted, the trunk had a split in it, and it just started dying. It was some type of berry tree, ornamental berries, and I had to take that one out. I replanted it in the back, and of course it died. It had no chance. So spending the money to do that, I think that's a good thing. 65,000 for complete well pump. Wow. Holy cow. That woo man. I'd have to sell my house to get that. Wow. That's a lot of buckaroonies, my friend. Hey Roxy, how are you? Get back up here. No siren, bad news, just a transport. No, I think that's good news actually. The big vineyards are putting in $1 million wells and water table keeps going down. Huh. Sending you down, dowsing rods and good thoughts. Deer are crazy in Northeast. I put up an 8-foot fence. I can't have anything. Yeah, I got a 6-foot fence. No video of the deer. I got a picture, but here, I got a picture, I think, if I still have it on here. Oh, bear with me. I think I have a picture. I might have deleted. I don't keep everything on my phone. Yeah. No, I deleted it. I should have kept it. I thought I kept one of them, but I think I deleted it now. We were just talking. Um, here's the. If I can show you this, that video I did where on July 20th. I know Kristen was going to look through her stuff, but here's the. I know it's hard to see with the glare, but that was the Cleveland Press, which is now defunct here. I think in the 80s they stopped printing, but this was their headline in red. You don't see red much anymore. At least, well, I don't even see newspapers anymore. And then the Cleveland Plain Dealer. So they put them side by side. And the Plain Dealer is still operating, but Astronauts Walk Moon. You guys can see that. Try to keep the glare off of it. But there was a site that I was looking at on Facebook, and they put those on there. So I snapped that picture. I wanted to check it out. Is there anything you could pinpoint that would have changed, whether it was matching 401 or anything else in that respect that you missed? Is there anything you can pinpoint that would have changed, whether it was, yeah, yes. I made a mistake. I made 2 mistakes. I made 2 big mistakes. And maybe I should do a video on that. The 2 big mistakes I made were, one, back in 1990s, when the market took a dump, I jumped. I didn't like the market. I never liked it. It was in my 401k with Shiloh, which used to be MTD Products. You know, they got away from pensions. They gave us 401ks. I was building up a decent nest egg. And the market, I took it out when I was young. I didn't know any better. Didn't talk to anybody, whatever. And I jumped out, which was a total mistake, which I've never, ever repeated. But the damage was done. And then in the last 19 years, my company did not offer a match. So I didn't invest. There was another reason too, but I didn't invest in our 401k at work because there was no match. And I thought I could do better myself, but I never did anything. And I didn't get into the stock market until May of 2020, when a monkey could pick good stocks. I mean, if I had a ton of money, I wish I would have invested a ton. I invested some, but I should have invested a ton of money, because almost every stock that I looked at back then in 2020 has gone up 4, 5, 6, 7 times in value. And that, if you never got into stocks, that was the point of entry where you probably couldn't go wrong, unless companies went out of business or whatever. But I had Danos, Danos. I bought at $6. Now it's trading at 80, and I think I sold it in the 70s. Dave and Buster's, just all types of things. It just skyrocketed. And so, I mean, that's good. And I made up some of my losses from the 90s, but that's too little too late for me. So Ohio's great, but man, that Skyline chili, that stuff. Yeah, I don't eat much. I don't eat much chili. I can tell you that because I got the stomach issues. So when they talk about uh, esophageal cancer, Barrett's esophagus. So I take that Protonics, which I've talked about before. I think a couple people here take that. Now, my new doctor, he cut me down to one a day. I used to take 2 40-milligram pills a day, one for in the morning, one before dinner. And he cut me down and says, take it in the morning. But I take it like in the late afternoon before dinner. I think that works well for me. Because where I get my talk about stuff like this, but where I get my issues is when I'm laying down and it'll start coming up. So I'm not bad during the day, but I don't want that acid to come up and burn me out or whatever. So taking that at night seems to work better for me. Ginkgo and Japanese maples. Mrs. Buzz loves those. You grew up in Seven Hills. Wow. So did Mrs. Buzz, Cliff. She grew up in Seven Hills. She went to Normandy High School. Ever eat carp? No, I've caught a ton of them, and I've never eaten one. Suggest maximizing your 401k and start saving and investing as soon as possible. And yep, absolutely, Fates Lieutenant. Deer walk down Main Street in Medina. Yeah, I can believe that, love son. I believe that. Beautiful trees, and I'm still working. It's a good time to get the trees. We lost an ash last year. It's so hot. Yeah. Hi, Steve. Really like your recent video on comparing. There's a losing proposition. Just be content. Yeah, I started that because David in Progress. David, the letter N, Progress. David in Progress. I've been following him off and on for a while, and he actually did a video talking about my video, and it seems like we got this little club going. It's kind of funny, but David mentioned that, so I put him in the description of that video. If you get a chance, you can watch that video that he did talking about me, and he has some good insights as well. So if you get a chance, check that out. But the comparison thing, and I kind of did it off the cuff, just kind of like, Dwayne and Julie, and then a lot of people pointed out to me, well, they retired early, so they got to pay for health care, and someone said Dwayne still has a house payment and all this other stuff. So and it wasn't like a serious comparison type thing. I think I was just looking out like 500,000. They were kind of how do I say it? Not sure of themselves, and that's probably not the right words. At 500,000, they wanted more and needed. They think they need more, and so I'm like, oh my God, they're at 500,000 and they think they need more. What am I going to do? But my goal has always been, as you guys know, if you've watched this long enough, try to just keep the expenses within the Social Security income. If I can do that, I'll let YouTube and interest on my accounts and on all that, it'll take care of itself. Now, this year I did spend a lot of money. Holy cow, did I spend a lot of money. And it's not over yet because I got to get steps put in, which I'll do myself. But buying those 6-foot sandstone blocks, I saw a couple on Facebook Marketplace. So he still wants $200 a piece for them. And I only need 2. But the brickwork and everything else, that's probably going to at least run me $500, $600, $700, which is not as bad as the electrical and the water tank and everything else I had to put in this year. So I got a little worried so far, but if it wasn't for YouTube, I'd be doing a part-time job. Guaranteed if I didn't have YouTube. So No pension and no match. That stinks, right? My TSP tank 2000 lost over 40,000. Yeah, 2008, 2009 was bad because we had to take when I was at this other company, my last company. Uh-oh. Which way's that ambulance going? Going to get another one. Or is he coming out? Nope. That's not good. We went past the house, so that's not a good sign. Um, in 2008, 2009, Pac Northwest, we had to take a 10% pay cut, and for 2 years, and I lost in a plane too. I lost some pretty good. I lost a good amount of money at that time. Now, and I guess in raises after that, but it never really makes up for the loss. And that was a decent hit. And sure, I could have tried to do something else or gone to another job or something. I actually did an interview with another company, and luckily I didn't get the job because they closed their doors about 6 months later. So obviously the person who I was going to replace knew what was going on and got out. And here the owner was, he spent about an hour and a half with me telling me all the good things. And he must have been one of the biggest snakes I've ever met. And I didn't know it at the time because his company was closing in 6 months. And he was playing this game just to get me to hire in so he could get through the next 6 months, which, again, the Lord works in mysterious ways. I know I'm behind here. I'm sorry. Okay. Individual stocks are too risky. Anything that can happen. Yeah. And if you go to Otter's Retirement Corner, he shows some videos about what he's doing. I guess somebody said he was an investment banker or something. I'm not sure. But he is definitely against individual stocks, although he's had Apple, but he's lost on Apple. But I think he's got ETFs and different things like that. And that, that's a way to go. But part of my portfolio is, and I say it right in the video, the one I did about a month ago or 6 weeks ago, and I say it's basically a speculative investment. A lot of the stuff that I'm doing in my E-Trade account is stuff that I'm hoping that can move ahead and make some money. Okay, like some yield max stuff. I'm watching that real close, but I mean, I've gotten a lot of income from yield max. I have 7 different ones. Now, are they for everybody? No, they're not. But I'm looking for quick income right now. And I think for me, in that account, now I have other things that are safe. So there's nothing wrong with having, and Howard on Otter's Retirement Corner says, with your money that you have, you can't afford to gamble. And I hear you, Howard. I hear you. You're not wrong in that assessment, but each person has to play their own game. And like I said, I watch it daily. And if I see something funky, I'll get out. I mean, I have no problem hesitating getting out of something. I'm not going to take a loss. Let's put it that way. So we'll see how things go in that account. Individual stocks. I invested in Dole Bananas and it went south. And oh my gosh, I think somebody was telling me about that or something. There was a guy, his name was Marvin, actually. I think he was invested in some kind of bananas or something, and the farms closed down or something. I don't remember. 83, Gerard, sorry. I try not to look in the rearview mirror because I can't go back. That's right, Ken, you can't. My wife was from Seven Hills, went to Normandy High School. She graduated 85. 85 was when the birth of our first daughter. So you watch David's video? Yeah, okay. Hey, Slim, how are you? Why isn't anyone working? Pirate Wench, because we're retired. And some of us are working and we just sneak into the video. I've made some money from individual stocks, but this can be very risky. Yes, true. Lucent, which split from AT&T at one point, it traded over $100. Yeah, 99 cents, right? Yeah, like 280 Stone says, done working. Retired in 2005. I have less than you, but I am wise, man. I get stocks a long time ago. Do you have an invest in the stock market in a 60-40, or is it specific interest bearing? You have to check that video. Now, it's changed since I did that video. I was 70-30, 80-20 actually in stocks and then safe accounts. I've never bought a bond. I know a lot of people like Diamond Nest Egg. I forget her name, but Diamond Nest Egg talks about bonds all the time. Matter of fact, she just did one about a 5% yield. If you get a chance, check out her channel. I don't know much about her, but Diamond Nest Egg. She seems pretty good about what on her channel about what she's talking about. She seems legit. But I've never gotten into bonds. I've always just picked ETFs, and I try to find stuff that are high paid dividends, but not crazy high. But this yield max stuff is a whole different animal. So we'll just set that aside. But like Third Federal Savings and Loan, it pays 28 cents. It's been paying 28 cents on a dividend for a long time now. And the stock fluctuates only about like this much. It doesn't do this. It just does this. And on a low point, you get some more. I think it's like $13 right now. And it pays that dividend. So like something like that. And it's a company that's been in business for 100 years. It's a bank that is very careful about their loans. They're a great company, and they're not showy. They're not, they're not Pepsi or Coke or, any of these companies like that, but they do a good job, and they're smart about how their loans and everything else. And so, stuff like that, I like that. I think it's an 8% dividend or something. That's nice. That's right in my wheelhouse where I like to be. If I can find that 6 to 8%. Most of them you see is like 2 to 3, and there's nothing wrong with that because you're looking for a little bit of growth too. But this high 8% one the growth isn't there as much. It has hit $22 at one time, but now it's sitting around 13, 12.50, 13 it's where it kind of sits. So that's what I kind of focus on right now is that income generating stuff because I want that to pay my property tax bill. So who was Normandy's biggest rival? I don't know, Cliff. I'd have to ask Mrs. Buzz. It was probably somebody in Parma. Finally got around to sending you an email between my previous 2 meetings, 12 years, 11 months to go. Punk Base Head Covers. That's great. Yeah, I'll check out that email. That ambulance is close. I know. I'm a block away from the town fire station. I'm constantly hearing the sirens. That's not good. Yeah, planes, trains, and automobiles. That's what I got. And normally it's not like this. It's just weird. I mean, I say that all the time, but true. I could sit out here for hours and hours doing stuff and I don't hear anything. And as soon as I get on and do a live or I do a video, here they come. Maybe everybody gets sick at a certain time. I don't know. Hey, Kentucky Leisure, how you doing? It's the insurance that kills you. I had to pay $1,000 a month for 3 years for my health insurance. $1,000 a month, yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, the Medicare is what is it, $185, and then we do pay the extra for Plan N, which is fairly cheap right now, but I know it's going to go up every year, and as we age, it'll probably continue to go up. So that's something that we're mindful of. TSP, Thrift Savings Plan. Kentucky Leisure, greetings from Virginia. Your Pause for a Cause donation page is now at 103% of goal. Well, thank you very much. You can see there's 2 of them out there. I set up a different. I screwed it up, and I can't go in there and delete the one. So hopefully you're just everybody who is nice enough to contribute, don't contribute to the one that says 0. I asked the moderator or the person in charge to delete that one because I can't, and she hasn't done it yet that I know of. Buzz, do some barbecue to keep you busy. Cold drink, a nice easy chair. Hey, Gerard, you know what I did? I found I can't get my favorite, and thank you, Kristen, for letting me know that. Gerard, I can't get my favorite barbecue sauce because they stopped making it. I think it was a Guy Ferraro garlic, sugar-free garlic, gluten-free. It was the best, and I should have stocked up on it. And I don't think they sell it anymore. We can't find it. So Sweet Baby Ray's was always good. I mean, everybody knows Sweet Baby Ray's. Well, they finally came out with a gluten-free, sugar-free one. Probably within the last. I haven't seen it before. Maybe it's been 6 months, a year. I don't know. At least I just saw it now, and it was on sale. That stuff was good. So that's going to be my go-to now. It's Sweet Baby Ray's, gluten-free, sugar-free, and has that Sweet Baby Ray's taste that we all know and love. And we just made chicken thighs Sunday, Monday, Sunday, someday, a couple days ago. I had them on the pit barrel and put that on there, and it was really, really good. So that's going to be my go-to from now on. So if you get a chance, buy that one. That's a good one because it doesn't have that high fructose corn syrup. I won't buy anything with high fructose corn syrup anymore. Not for the animals, not for me, not for, I just got away from that. They say it's safe and all that, but they also said saccharin was safe when they first came out with it. So whatever. Hey, Cliff. Hey, Vicky West. You thought you'd pop in? Didn't peek at it. Probably sounds crazy to some, but watching makes me stress. Yeah, it could be. Yeah, it could. I'm very lucky to have a pension, retired teacher. That's right, Roxy. That's right. You did all that teaching for all those years. I was going to invest in Dole Bananas. The stock was appealing. I get it. 2 months retired. Bama for us now. Going well. Elderly parents and grandchildren keeping us busy. Yeah, that's good. That's another thing in retirement there where you could help out. That's great. Appealing or appealing. Hey, St. Paul's Steam. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Calvin, how you doing? I don't put my money in anything I don't understand. Well, I wouldn't put my money in anything then because I don't understand anything. Steve, at this point for fixed, I've been buying a U.S. Treasury short-term yield is right. Yeah, that's 4.243 is good. No state tax rate. I know. People keep telling me to do that, to do the Treasury stuff, and I have the traditional IRAs. Because I was taking my YouTube money and to shield it, because you remember I had ACA last year, so I wanted to shield that money from the tax from the IRS. So I opened up a traditional IRA, and they're 4%. Yeah, could I get 0.2, 0.3 more? Yes, I could, but I don't think that would be tax-wise. I think the traditional would have been the best way to do it at that time. Now I don't have to worry about the ACA, and with the extra $12,000 on the standard deduction, I can play some games now with T-bills. So it might be something I might look at. I have to learn how to do it, and I know there's tutorials out there and all that. I think I have signed on to that government website. I think I've gone through all the monkey motion there. I just have to actually understand it, and I don't right now. Your property tax settled on 300 this year. What do you mean settled on 300? What's that mean? You only pay 300 a year, or you got a reduction, or what are you saying? You want to look for dividend growth? Yeah, I retire abroad finance, or your dividend is worth. Yes, I understand what you're saying there too. Right. Yeah, and my what I just told you about third federal savings, that doesn't happen. So to your point, you're going to, based on inflation, that money's going to erode over time. And you're not wrong there. Finding a dividend that increases over time would, try to keep up with inflation would be a good idea. You're absolutely right. June 2026 from a Fed job. Oh, you're going to retire June. Oh, next year. Okay, Tink. I'm very fortunate. I'll be getting a pension, TSP, supplement military retirement at 60, and TRICARE. Oh man, you hit the jackpot right there, Tink. You hit the jackpot. How old are you going to be? Or retirement at 60. Okay, you're saying that. Yeah, you got the jackpot there. I just got a CD for 4.25. Okay. And yeah, some places, Calvin, will do that. You can get them higher and some lower, but that 4%'s mid ballpark. So I'm glad you got something a little bit higher. That's good. What's going on? Hey, Greg, he hasn't done them yet. So I text him. I know it's like, okay, yeah, it's a problem, but it's not a major problem. I only get crazy on major problems, and I'm not crazy about this yet. It hasn't bothered me that much, just a little bit. Um, but I text him and I said, and I will let him know that that's not the way to run a business. But that's going to be one-on-one. That'll be a one-on-one conversation, and I'll let him know how I feel about it. It's not the way to run a business because he doesn't communicate. I'm not going to kiss his ass. And so I texted him and I said, can you have this done before the end of July? And he just comes back with yes. So August 1st, I already got another place in mind. August 1st, I'll check out their pricing Monday after I do my dog walks. It's local over here. I'm going to stop in. And basically August 1st, I will text him and say, okay, I'm coming to pick up my stuff. I'm going over somewhere else. Have it ready for me, and I'll decide the time and day, and I'll pick it up. So I don't want to get to that. I mean, you never know unless you walk a mile in someone's shoes, you don't know what their issues are. But still, if he's trying to run a business, he's not doing it very well, at least on the communication part of it. You got planes flying over you. Treasury bonds can be sold at any time without penalty. Interest is, yeah, okay. Yeah, I people tell me all the time to do that, and I just haven't done it yet. Where did I miss? I just missed somebody here. I don't want to miss anybody. If I miss you, just come back and talk about it again. If CDs are cashed in prior to maturity, yeah, yes, that's true, Steve. You're right, and that's a good point too. But I don't have any. Of course, you say that now, right? But I have no plans of touching it. One's a 1 year, one's a 3 year, because I figure eventually, the way they're talking, they will lower interest rates. There's a good chance it'll go down, and of course the banks will follow. So I locked up my 4% at 1 year and one at 3 years. Once that 1 year's done, and now that I don't have to worry about the ACA and all that other junk, I'm going to move. I'll probably move that to Treasury bills, and we'll see what they look like at the time too. But I just got to get schooled on it because I just don't know. Well, thank you, 280 Zone. I appreciate you putting that out there. Steve, doing those short-term T-bills too. Tink TRICARE at 60 and then add Medicare at 65. Good to go. Yeah, that's a good. Tink is in a good position. Really good. No investment, school employee pension and Social Security. My goal to live on my Social Security and sock pension away. Yeah, okay, that's good. Gave me peace of mind when I retired. There's always things that are going to happen, but look, it is what it is, as they say. People hate that saying, but it is true. It is what it is. You're at the, like whoever just said that. There's no looking back. What's done is done. Now you take and you just look forward and you take what you have and you make the best of it. And you try to make smart decisions. If we are retired, you have time to make smart decisions. Like somebody got on me about in one of the other videos, they, in a nice way, criticized that, I buy high-end appliances. And then that's not true. What I said in my video was, or what I thought I said, or tried to get the point, is that you buy the best, the cheapest, but the best. So, and I think I mentioned my TV. I bought the top of the line Samsung TV because we do the research. We spend days, if not weeks, doing research on products. And we look at all the consumer reports. We look at all the people who on Amazon or Reddit or any of these others. And there's a million sites now. that talk about, and you know, if there's one that's constantly talked about, it's good, it's good, it's good, it's good, it's good. That might be something that we buy. Now, is it an extra $200 to $300 more? Okay, I'll pay it because I think it's going to last a long time. And I even made mention in that video that my Vizio TV, it was a 55-inch Vizio. I mean, these are the Walmart brand TVs, but it had such a high rating. And so we spent less on that one, got that one. And let me tell you something, that thing, it's like it was 8 or 9 years that we didn't have a problem. And the only sound was crackling, which I could have bypassed that and just used the sound bar. So, you know, you just be careful with your money, buy the best that you can without going crazy, and do your research. There's so many people buy stuff that they can't, you know, it doesn't work out for them because they just want to buy it. Oh, it's on sale. Well, it's good it's on sale, but if it's a piece of crap, don't buy it just because it's, you know, $200 off. It's junk. Do your research. You have time now. Do the research. And a lot of that stuff's free now. Consumer Reports, they always wanted you to pay $20 a year or something, but now there's so much out there that's free advice. And like I said, if you get a lot of people talking the same thing, then that's probably true. Oh, it was $1,200 last year. Now I'm over 60. Okay, dropped. Wow, $300. Oh, that's great. Man, I need to move out where you're at. Figuring out retirement. How are you doing? I purchased some treasury bonds when the fixed rate was high and never goes down as long. Ah, cool. I use Charles Schwab online and solely buy treasuries via the resale market. The key isn't the interest rate, but the yield from the purchase price. Yeah, see, Steve, I don't know all that stuff. And I have E-Trade, and I've looked at it. On the E-Trade, they have the same, probably the same, similar to Schwab. And I can see where you can buy, and there's just like so many different things and so many different categories, and I just don't understand them well enough to jump into it. So I really got to understand it better. And I know that Diamond Nest Egg, well, she's talking bonds and I guess T-bills too. And she has like a course. You have to pay the money for a course, and it may not be a bad investment, but I'll try to do it on my own first. Steve, can you lose money on T-bills or are they secure? You can also invest in bond funds. Okay. Gives you more flexibility. And I think that's what Howard at Otter's Retirement, I think that's what he does. Hey, Nancy, how you doing? 401k Dexter's. Love this market. Up and away. Yeah, so far. I mean, it was a scary time there for a minute, and people were all panicked about what was going to happen because it's new. And I understand it completely. I was one of them. But I always take a wait and see attitude, and sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't. And so far, so good. I'm glad. And like I said, I learned, if you just came on, I learned a lesson from the 90s when I bailed out. And I really never recovered from that. I should never have bailed when they had that big, what's that, the .com, or was that, no, something else, where the market tanked. And I jumped. I was scared. I was young. I didn't know any better, and I jumped. And that was the wrong move. So, because you know, I wasn't 59 and a half, and I think I withdrew it. And I don't know if I put it all somewhere else, but I probably paid a penalty for that. I mean, it was just stupid. So, but yeah, so hopefully things will go better. Ohio sales tax holiday for 2 weeks. Oh, boy, if you're going to have a big purchase, on items ordered August 1st or after. Oh, 2-week holiday. Yeah, if you're going to get a big ticket item, I wonder if that goes for cars too. I wonder if they put, and I'm not that I'm buying a new car, but that would be, you know, you could save $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 buying a new car if you did that. Because Ohio sales taxes, well, I don't know. It's county and then Ohio. So Ohio is like 5-something%, and then the counties are, I think ours is 8.5, 8 or 8.5. So I don't know if they just mean the 5.5 or 5 3/4 that the state of Ohio does. I'm not sure. Buffett buys 3 months treasury bills. It's a very simple process, and you roll it over and have Fidelity do it. And therefore, okay, yeah, I'm going to talk to Fidelity, Red Dragon. I appreciate that comment. I'm going to talk to Fidelity because I'm going to move. I have a old principal account. They moved to something called Megalon or Megadon or something. I don't know. And then they put me into 13 different things, and I'm just going to, I was so frustrated by it. And not that it's bad, but there's like, they got me into stuff that I really don't want to be into. And I'm going to take all that out and go to Fidelity. There's one local here, and I'm just going to set up an appointment with them and start working through all this stuff with them. I do have a Fidelity account already. I just don't do much with it. There's just like a few stocks in there that I just let it sit. Do your research, then in the meantime, save the money, pay cash if you can. I'd rather pay a little more for quality product than a trendy one. I love Sun. I don't do cash. I found it better for me as long as you're disciplined, which I am. I think I'm better at it now. I like the cash back that I get from Costco, the Citibank card. I think last year I just got a check for $80 now, $81. I just got a check, and then they send another one in February. I think I made almost $500 on that one in cash back because I try to pay a lot of my stuff with that. So I'm not a cash person, although I understand it. I just don't do it that way. We're still good friends. What did I miss there? I'm at a lunch at a favorite place, so that's good. Buzz, make a plan to come up to Michigan and meet. Yeah, one day we're gonna get up there. Trust me. Yes, Ozzy, that's right. Yeah, I just did that video. It was so weird, and I said in the video that I did yesterday, I think, or maybe not. I did bring them up, but it was a Facebook thing or a text in our family. The night before, they died yesterday, right? I think it was the night before that. I was watching some videos and I saw that one, Mama, I'm coming home, from his July 5th or whatever concert, that last concert where he was sitting in that chair, that black chair. And, you see some of the clips and the people are all crying because they knew he wasn't, either he was going to die soon or they weren't going to see him live in the arena ever again. And they kind of knew that, and it hit them, and people had tears in their eyes, and it was really emotional. I was listening to that. I had the earbuds in and I had it cranked up all the way. And I was just kind of, man, I was just, I was getting teary eyed myself, because it's like, here we go again, another person who has passed away who we grew up with. Now whether you like Black Sabbath music or not or any of that stuff is beside the point. It's just another person who in our age group who has passed. And I've said this before. I watch the Honeymooners. I watch Carol Burnett. I watch Perry Mason, The Twilight Zone. I'm watching all these things, and and I always think to myself, how many of these people are left alive? And usually the answer is not many. Most of them are long gone. So it's just weird, how they can keep going through these TV shows. And that's part of why the internet or the YouTube is cool for me, because whether my family wants to see it or not, they can see my mug anytime they want. If YouTube stays around 10, 20, 30 years from now, they can see old Buzz in the garage, Grandpa Buzz, right? I don't have any grandchildren, but at least in the cousins and stuff like that, they can see if they want. T-bills only pay federal tax, that's state or local. American funds in my principal for. Yeah, Scott, they screwed me over on that. I don't know what the heck they're doing. Do you invest? No, Costco stocks is just too expensive for me. They were over $1,000 a share, and they pay a dividend, but they're pricey. Now, if it drops to like $800 or $700 or something, maybe we'll take a stab at a few of them, but that's way too much for me. All right, Vicky, thank you for being here. I just sent links to your monthly update to my sister. She's got about the same as you, so I think she'll get a lot. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, if she has any questions, funnel them back to me. Yeah, his final concert. Yep. Yep, last farewell tune. Yeah, he Midwest old man. It seems like he did know. And I mean, if you've got Parkinson's and yeah, he probably got a diagnosis. Now they probably didn't tell him you got 2 weeks to live. They probably didn't say that, but they probably didn't give him a long prognosis to be around for a year or two or more. You know, they probably said, you know, things aren't looking good. And I know his. I think I heard him say that his wife Sharon was putting that together for. It took about a year, so it was. You know, they knew this concert wasn't like just put it together in 5 minutes. It took a year to put everything together, and so it wasn't like a spur of the moment thing. Like, hey, I'm going to die. I better do this concert. So I'm just glad that he was able to one last time, even though his voice didn't sound that great. It was cool to see him one last time. Yep, one by one. My husband's best friend died of brain cancer at 35, and that changed my whole perspective. It does. I don't do but good luck on that. All right, Fates Lieutenant, thank you. Oh, he stopped taking his meds so he could perform? Yeah, I don't know. That could be. I don't know. You hear so many things, and like I said, I just don't pay attention. I was watching the. I'm surprised nobody brought it up. Was anybody watching that? Was his name Cohenberger? With them 4 kids that he killed. That was. They should have fried him. I wish they would have fried him because. And you know, say what you want. Everybody has their own idea about capital punishment and all this stuff, but Buzz would have fried him. Ain't no doubt. Ain't no doubt. Just no doubt. Hey, love, son. Take care. Yeah, I know we're about an hour and a half already. It's just funny when Buzz gets the jaws flapping, the time just goes. I got yard to mow. I got other stuff to do too. So, but yeah, we'll go a little bit longer. I'll get another. I'll get another 9 minutes in here. I would have buzzed him. Oh, no doubt. That guy. I tell you what. I think weird sometimes. Two things that came to my mind, and you guys can throw this out however you want to. First of all, let's go way off track. The Twilight Zone. There's a one called the Howling Man, and if you remember that one, they had the devil inside of a monastery, and they had the cane of truth or something that blocked the door, and he convinces this traveler to let him out, and he turned out to be the devil. Well, while he was in that cage, that actor had the curly hair and stuff, and I told Mrs. Buzz, I said, that dude has got that this Cohenberger, he's got to be the devil. There's something seriously wrong with this dude. And I think he's got the devil. He's got something wrong with him. And is it? I don't know what it is, but I think he's got part. He looked just like that guy in the Twilight Zone, which was crazy. Yeah, but you know, 280 Zone. What they said was, give the old buzzard some love with thumbs up. Agree completely with frying. Yeah, I just think there's something seriously wrong with that dude. But now I'm going to give you a different take. Here's another take and you guys might not agree with this. Um, you may not agree with this at all, but because what happened was a tragedy, absolutely. And those 4 kids that got killed was an absolute tragedy. But I follow this thing called, and this is just me, okay? This is just me. I follow this thing called Hey Jackass. And that's the name of the site. And it's a really good site. And it talks about the killings and shootings and different things or murders in Chicago, just Chicago. And I think there's other cities that they do this with. So here's 4 people that got killed. And I'm not, believe me, I'm not taking anything away from that. Trust me. And it's nationwide news. It's on all the channels right now. The trial thing, we were flipping through and it was on every single channel, all the main networks. It was everywhere. And if you go to Hey Jackass, just in July, so this is what, the 22nd, 23rd, whatever the day is, Just in this month, 32 people have been killed. 168 have been shot or wounded. 37 total homicides. So they weren't shot, but they were killed in other ways. And then year to date, so from January to July, 200 people have been killed, 845 shot and wounded, 1,000 total shot, 240 homicides, 240 caskets just at the beginning of the year to now. And you don't hear diddly squat about those lives. Again, not taking anything away from what's going on out there and with the Cohenberger case, them 4 young kids, but man, there's 200 families that are going through the same thing. And you don't hear nothing about it. And that's my take for today. Yeah, too many people, they don't have respect for life. That's true. The death penalty is a deterrent to murder and definitely prevents the one. No, I don't think it's a deterrent. I really don't. And I think if he had his chance, the Cohenberger, he would have chosen to fry. And I don't know. I didn't hear or watch all that stuff, but I don't think it's a deterrent at all. I really don't. When people do things like that, that's the last thing they're thinking about. Oh, if I get caught, that's the last thing they're thinking about. So, Calvin, I respectfully disagree on that one. But I think putting them in prison forever is not the way to do it either, because, like they say, in 2 years, he can write a book. He can do all the things that those kids can't do. Look at, my wife said, look at Scott Peterson. You know, if you remember that case, you know, the people still talk about it. So they're going to talk about this guy and he doesn't deserve that recognition. He doesn't deserve it at all. So, no, I don't think it's a deterrent. Yes, he should fry. Staying in jail and being able to write books and do interviews, I think is BS. But whatever. If you return to work, we won't be able to enjoy. Oh no, I know. We'll figure it out. I have to have Wednesday as an off day. Need more guns. Well, I tell you, that's one thing I got to do. I got to get up to the shooting range. I got a couple places where I can go. I haven't taken the time. I guess I'm too cheap. That brass is expensive. I agree. The 100%. If it bleeds, it leads. Murder daily in my city of Toledo. Yeah, and you know that, right. I'm just talking about Chicago, just because it's out there. But there's so many other cities. There's so many other cities where this is going on, and for the news, and again, I'm not taking away, and I'll just leave it at this. But the news to focus on just this one thing without focusing on other things, I think that's kind of unfair to those families and those parents and those grandparents and those brothers and sisters and uncles and aunts that aren't going to ever see the type of thing that's going on with this, where their child is on the news every day and people are supporting them and all this other stuff. And again, not taking anything away from this. I understand it, but it's just not fair, in my opinion. It's just not fair. It makes me delighted to live in a flyover country. I don't like that I have to pay for his housing. Yeah, right, true. That's true, too. Sadly, remember both the famous death penalty definitely doesn't seem to be. No, it doesn't. Yesterday, 1-year-old, 7 dead in the streets. Yeah. And we'll get off of this subject, but it's always been that way. It's not like this is nothing new. And it is, and there's always going to be that fringe of society that doesn't have a regard for life. And I'm just glad that for the most of us, we do have that compassion for people, and we have good hearts, and we hate to see stuff like that. So that's good. Now, hopefully, all you guys are that way too. I think you are, all you guys and girls. Audio. All right, going to sit down and write my. Oh, good. 401k Dexter's. That'll be cool. I'll buy that one. Of course, I bought Dwayne's book too, and still haven't read it. Dwayne, I don't think he's listening, but nobody tell him I haven't read his book yet. What else are you growing? Rick's retirement journey. I've only got some squash that I just planted a small hill of squash, and I got some flowers on it, but it hasn't done anything yet. So, but the tomatoes are looking pretty good. Like I said, my raised bed garden is a total flop. It's in the sun 100% of the day. I think that was a mistake. My location might have been a mistake. I might have to put some kind of shading up next year. Again, this is my first year. Nothing's coming. I have some peas that came up, but I have to water it every day, sometimes twice a day. And the other stuff just isn't coming. It just dries out way too fast. So I'm going to learn. This was kind of a learning curve for me. So I'm not even counting that. So basically just tomatoes and some squash. That's all I focused on this year. Next year, hopefully I'll do a little bit more. My blueberry bush is Bushwood blueberry. Yeah, there's a guy, Jim Hodges. He's on our. He contributes to our videos and our comments on our videos, I should say. And they have a blueberry farm in Pennsylvania. Geez, I forget the name of the city now, but he says his are ripened up really well, and it's a 2-hour ride for me just to get some blueberries. I wish he was a little bit closer, but yeah, I guess it's blueberry picking time right now. Oh, Joe, yeah, you're homesick. Well, I hope you feel better and take care. Yeah, we're getting out of here in a second. It's been an hour and a half already. Like I said, when Buzz gets the gums flapping, you never know how long it's going to go. We still have 83 people here. I got the text from somebody. A soaker hose. Yeah, I got to figure it out and see. Yeah, time does fly. I know it's crazy. Um, oh yeah, I know. Yeah, to the person that just sent me a text. Yes, I know. Trust me, it's a long story, but I was, yeah, I was. I did it last night, and yeah, I understand what I did, and I can't fix it. I don't know how to fix it. So yeah, I'm screwed there, but that's all right. That's the way life goes. So you guys don't know what I'm talking about, but yeah, I'll text you back on that. Yeah, that was a mistake. And I had done one earlier too. It was the same thing was on. Yeah, and I got rid of that. I figured it out, and then then I did that. So sometimes Buzz does some crazy things that just doesn't make sense. Finished a good bacon cheeseburger. Oh, cool. All right, take care, Nancy. Has any dog chosen you yet? No, 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 no dogs. I really enjoy going there and doing that with them. Um, and I get a different dog every time. Now I can choose. Sometimes I can choose what I want. Like there's two shepherds um, that I really like. I wish they would get adopted. And there's some other dogs that some of my favorites, but a lot of times they get adopted pretty quick, so you don't get too close to them. You know what I mean? Because they do get adopted, which is really good. Um, I just took out. You saw that one husky maybe on my short. Um, he looks like he's a good dog, and he just came in. He wasn't. I think he just came in. Like I was there Monday. I think he came in on the weekend before that, so he was like brand new. Um, and hopefully he'll get out soon too, or somebody. And they also this shelter also takes them to what's called Houndstown, where all these dogs can run around and people could come in and pick one out, so to speak. They do events down in the park. People take them for walks down in the park. We have the Cleveland Metro Parks right near us, and they're always taking the dog. They take them swimming. They take them to this pool where you can let the dogs go into this pool. It's set up that way, and they can dive in there, and and there's somebody inside in the pool that goes with them, kind of a thing. So they pamper these dogs. I mean, it's pretty cool. I didn't know when I first signed up what I was going to get into. Like, is this going to be, am I going to be going home thinking that I could take them all home and get them out of this misery? But I tell you what, these dogs, I can tell. I've been a dog person all my life. These dogs aren't super happy. They don't want to be in these kennels, but they're treated good. And they're constantly getting bones or treats. They're getting walked a lot. Like, the shifts are 2 hours, and then I think there's a 2 hour gap, and then another couple hours, and another couple. So they're getting walked at least 3 or 4 times a day. Like I said, they get out. So they do a really good job there. And I'm really impressed by that. But nope, I haven't chosen anyone. Finish the good. Let's see, Nancy Sealer. All right, Buzz, I can send you a few bucks for gas money. You need the gas money, Midwest old man. You bought that. What is that? It's got a 500 cubic, what is it? Truck. Midwest old man bought that giant truck. I think it's longer. It's bigger than my house, I think. High energy dogs need a big yard. In this town, at the end of summer, they let people bring their dogs to swim in the pools. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, they got little vests on them and stuff. But I saw some pictures. I think Bria, our friends or something, whatever, has a Facebook page too. If you want to see some of the dogs that I'm talking about, and you're on Facebook, I don't use it that much, but I go on just to see some of that and see what the family's doing. I don't use it that much, but you can see some of the dogs that I'm talking about. So, yeah, high energy, the ones, yes, the high energy dogs do need a backyard. I'll tell you about it. 280 zone. Um, my new F-250 is getting around 20 miles a gallon. That big thing. Oh, yeah, the F-250. That's what it was. That is a big truck. Midwest old man had some pictures he sent to me, or I saw it somewhere. I think you sent it to me. I can't keep everybody straight, but that's a beautiful truck. Beautiful, beautiful truck. Scott, that's not going to happen. Yeah, I know, that's just not going to happen. It won't do it. They do that in our apartment complex too. Oh, that's good. Bit worried. You have never had Culvers. All right, well, I'll check it out. I don't know where there's one by me. I don't know. Maybe there's one. I'll check it out. All right, Rick's retirement journey. Take care. Yeah, we're gonna get off here. I keep saying that. That was 18 minutes ago. I think I said that. Your Tundra only gets 11. Bring back the small pickups from the 80s. That's why that Ford Maverick. I was all jumping up and down about that. That was that cheap. It was cheap and good reviews on it. That Ford Maverick pickup truck. The bed's not big. It's not a real truck, so to speak. But I kind of like that one. It was cheap, and you can even get it with roll down windows, which I was good with. Bare bones. Now I think the Ford Ranger is like that, but that's made in Brazil, I think. Well, the Maverick's made all in Mexico, I believe. But still, that would have been nice to get that during the 2020, 2019 time, but couldn't get it. That's when my car was worth thousands and thousands of dollars because they couldn't get the new cars, so the used cars were going up so high in value. But I couldn't do anything. I couldn't get the Ford Maverick because it was a 2-year waiting list. So your son has the Maverick. How's he like that? All right, Pac Northwest. We'll see you. Culver's is in Macedonia. That's not that far. All right, I'll check that out. Macedonia is not that far. Probably a 45-minute ride. I might check that out. Explorer gets 15 miles on the highway. Steve, I don't even remember what year. My guy I worked with 20 some years ago, he had a Ford Explorer, is black and gray, two-tone, and he was going to sell it, and I bought it from him, and I loved the truck. I mean, I just loved it. And I was driving it, and it caught fire. It's the only car I've ever had that's caught fire. And I've had beaters all my life. They've never caught fire. This, and then we started calling this the Ford Exploder because I don't know what it was, but they said there's some kind of graphite thing in the starter, not the starter, but the alternator or something. I don't know. And I luckily I pulled into a parking lot and away from everybody else, and got on my cell phone and called the fire department and said, "Hey, my truck's on fire." And I took everything out of the glove compartment. You know, I had papers and stuff, and then I went in the back, and the thing's burning. People are coming out, and I'm like, so of course the fire department comes, and I didn't think to open the hood. Well, I did actually. I did. I actually opened the hood and saw the fire, and then closed it because I didn't want like air to get in there. I thought that would suffocate it, so I closed the hood real quick. And when the fire department got there, they didn't even try to pull the latch. They just put a crowbar in and pried it open. So they marked that as a total loss. So, but yeah, I never had one catch on fire. So when you say Ford Explorer, I think Ford Exploder all the time. Mine is a 5.7. Okay, guys and girls, we're at an hour and 40 minutes. I can't believe this time has gone fast like this. It's unbelievable. But we'll sign off for now. And I appreciate everybody who's been here, has left, still here. So, yeah, Ford Explorer, it was. Again, appreciate everybody that's here. Anybody that's donated to the animal rescue, it's a program going through August. So if you haven't donated yet, you still have a chance. And that's better than the buy me a coffee because it's going, it's going direct to that. And we'll talk about that Saturday too. But and then after the month of August, I'll leave you alone about it. We won't talk about it till the next year. So, and I know you got places near you too, and I appreciate. I understand you have shelters in your area as well, and if you can do something for them, that's cool too. And I appreciate you being here. Like I said, oh, there's that Facebook page. Well, thank you. Smart Scope Astro. See you have a fun time on your vacation. If in the upper UP. Yeah, got to get back to work, Midwest, old man. I gotta mow. Got the electric, the battery charged up on the Ego, so I'll run that. Even though the grass isn't growing because it's been so hot, but I just trim it down a little bit. Keep it up high. Keep the weeds out. Hopefully, it won't burn out the grass. I set mine a little bit higher in the summer. That's what they say, and you're supposed to, but I don't always do it. But see what happens. All right, guys, girls, ladies, and gentlemen. We'll see you again Saturday or on my next video, God willing. And thank you for being here. Take care. Stay out of jail. Don't hurt yourself. Stay out of the hospital. And be here for next Saturday. Thanks.